Okay, so working on my Arrma Senton BLX223 4x4. Obviously, we know that it has its shortcomings because there's no receiver to plug into any lights or any additions that you want to add to the vehicle, which makes it really hard to add any lights. So here's what I did. I ordered these lights off AliExpress, the nice 5 lamp. I was trying to put it up on the under the scoop or under, right by the under the bumper, but it's impossible. There's no way to drill anything in that area without compromising the frame or going into the actual the actual frame itself on the BLX where all the motor and stuff are at. So kind of impossible to do it up here. Would have looked nice, but no. So here's what I did. Okay, I had to do some modifications. If you guys get these lights, here's what I would suggest. This area right here is basically where they would fit for a 5-beam light of this type. So what you got to do is you got to sand down right in this area right here. Sand it down just so that it's kind of flat and that you're able to get this mounted onto this protection, which is like kind of the thing that protects the body when it rolls so it doesn't damage the rest of the Lexan. At this point, I beat the crap out of this one. So, it's got its bruises and stuff. So I just figured I'd mount some lights on it and kind of F with it for a second and see what it looks like. So I did the same over here, right? Had to sand down and bring down the bolts and whatnot. And these specific little hexagonal screws right in here, if you could see that, they're kind of difficult to work with these lights. So if you get these lights, be forewarned, you might have to sand the actual bracket itself so that these screws that they provide are actually fitting in there. So that was one modification I needed to do with this little bracket. Then once you put them in there, I'd mark them, just make sure that everything's marked so you know where you're drilling. Take a Dremel and then start drilling into this plastic area, this hard plastic. Drill into it, measure it up nicely, right, and it'll go in there. And then I had to unfortunately drill a hole on top here to fit the lights to go in through, to run them through inside the body. So they'll go in there and all that good stuff. And then a couple of other things I needed to order. Let me show you what I got. I got 2 sets of these, which are basically, just extenders or what have you, or just so you could have some extra plugs and run that to the direct receiver. There's only one way to do this with these type of BLX 223s. I'll show you in just a second here what I did. Okay, so here's what I got. I got these little magnetic ones that will, you don't have to unplug it all the time. They just undo themselves through the magnets. So it's like a Y-line, I guess they call it, but it's magnetized. They got these 2 little bits that come apart right here. So that's kind of what you'd have to run through there if you want to add additional lights. So you have all these other new ports to work with. But here's the problem. One thing that I noticed with these BLXs is they're great freaking machines. I love these things. But the problem is that when you go into this ESC, this particular plug right here is the only one that stands out that you're able to plug anything out of. Now this one was kind of messed up. The soldering job was really crappy on this. So they're hopefully going to return or resend me a new ESC. I'm going to replace this. Now they no longer come with the receivers in this box area down here like some of them used to come with before. So I had to kind of jerry rig everything in here. Basically what I did is I had a wire that was going out to the servo, the steering servo. I went in there and I added this triple kind of extender. So I did that, and I was still able to plug in the servo, right? Also, additionally, because this one didn't work, because they did a shit job as soldering it, the fan which was connected to it wasn't working. So I had to jerry rig it and plug the fan to this particular 3-way kind of output, right? So that's what we're working with here. So it really sucks because I really wish they would have thought about this when they made this thing. And it would have been great, you know, if we had some like additional receiver outputs to go on, but you know, it is what it is. So basically I'm gonna plug this up in and run it through those 3 extenders and see how it goes. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so now that we ran the wires right down this hole here, I plugged them right into obviously one of the extenders, and let's see how it looks. I'm going to turn this puppy on. You're going to have to do a lot of taping or a lot of you know, zip tying just to get it to look good here. So let's just do this. Hang on one second. Okay, and here's the finished product. Obviously, you know, it's a little brighter if you take off the little light covers, so that's what you're working with. Actually, I love the look of it now, and I will say that I'm kind of glad that I drilled into those plastic guards, right? Because drilling this into the plastic, whatever they call it, the Lexania, whatever it's called, I don't know. It wouldn't have held. It wouldn't have held at all. You know, if this thing flips over, at least now it's onto a really solid base here, and they're not going anywhere. I mean, the only thing that's going to happen is you probably end up breaking these lights or something. But as far as it being mounted properly, I think this is the best way to go. Again, you know, these things are really hard to work with. I really wish they would have, you know, made some modifications, or not modifications, but just an easier body to work with, like the prior Arrma Senton that was out before this one, the last generation. Because, you know, Polo Creations does some really good work, and I've gotten some lights out of him where it's just LED strips. I'm not a big fan of the LED strips, but I'm going to add them to the other body that I have, the newer body, just to keep it clean, because it is just going to be all LEDs up here, and then on the back for the brake lights. He did a really good job. I don't know if you follow Polo Creations, he's got some really good work, but I see why he couldn't really make these you know, to be some kind of like a hardened type light or LED light. It had to be strips just so that it could work with the body that they're working with. So kind of sucks. I really wish Arrma would upgrade their ECMs I'm sorry, their ESCs to have, you know, different channel receivers and more, you know, flexible type of body that we can work with. But all in all, I mean, I'm not upset. I had to make some modifications, but man, that shit looks good. And yeah, I'm gonna go beat the crap out of it at night. I am gonna throw on some LEDs back here. Again, I might have to make some modifications, but they do sell some like kind of 1-inch red LEDs back here. I bought some little marker lights that I'm gonna kind of mount up in here and make this active as well. But yeah, I mean, as far as these go, I haven't seen anything where you can kind of pop in a headlight. I really wish Polo Creations, if you're you know, if you're watching this video, if you can make like a kind of the frame, the little 3D printout that you made for the prior body, and have a headlight kind of going in here, that would be so awesome, man. I would really love to see something like that come up from you know, from your some of your work. But yeah, all in all, I mean, for now, this is what I'm working with. We'll check it out later at night, and I'll probably post a second video. All right, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Yeah, go subscribe to my channel if you want to see what other kind of modifications I end up working on with these cars. I'm really trying to stick with Senton, just because, you know, they're great machines, and I know they're kind of hard to work with, especially this new body. But yeah, I think we can. I think there's some things that we can do, and I'm gonna have fun with this little project and installing some other lights on it. So next video I post up is gonna be you know, tail lights and LED rear brake light. And I don't know, if someone comes up with any good ideas for these lights, let me know in the comments, man. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching. Chicago Deep Househead riding out.